Oh my gosh, you're here!
Welcome to My Chatbot Life, where chatbot marketers share high converting strategies in this new conversational marketplace. Each week, MKJ introduces you to bot builders who are just like you, a little techie, a little markety, and a whole lot of geeky. Buckle up as Chatbot Mom enjoys another journey into My Chatbot Life.
Hey there, bot buddy. My chatbot lifer, welcome to the conversation. MKJ here, and I'm here to kick off a series of conversations that I invite you to participate in that I'm calling Change and Chatbots. And if you have been in this conversational marketing world anytime within the last basically almost 5 years, actually this month, April, it's 5 years that since Facebook opened up its platform for conversational marketing and chatbots. So April of 2016. So if you've been in this world anytime since then, you know about change, right? You know that change happens. In this chatbot world, that's all we've lived is change. When I first started with ManyChat and ChatFuel, it was constantly changing. I got to play with the flow builder with ManyChat before it was actually created. I got to be kind of a beta tester, if you will, on Mikhail's computer, and was recorded as I navigated this new thing called the flow builder. And since then, so many opportunities have opened up, so many new developments and updates that have happened in ChatFuel and ManyChat and Facebook Messenger and Facebook that it is almost unrecognizable from what it was when it first started. I know ChatFuel and ManyChat started at the end of 2016, and I started into this world in January of 2017. So since then, I mean, if you think the 24-hour rule going away, or the +1 going away, or the 24-hour rule being enforced, or subscription messaging going away, or any of those changes, if you think any one of those things was the quote death of chatbots, then you know that that's not true. You know it's still around. You know that messenger marketing, chatbot marketing, conversational marketing, because now many new platforms are opening to chatbots. This whole world that we live in, this ocean that we swim in, changes constantly. And how we deal with those changes, how we can adapt to those changes, will impact our success. And ultimately, to be honest with you, how we adapt to all changes in life and changes in chatbots and changes in our entire life, with COVID, with shutdowns, with economic difficulties, all those things. To be honest with you, my friends, how you deal with those events that are outside of your control, which almost all of these things that I've been talking about are outside of our control, how we deal with them will impact how happy and productive our lives are. So that's my number one goal with this series, is to help you see some of the changes from different perspectives. And you're going to hear from some really incredible humans in this series. It's just going to be a few weeks long. And so the next few podcasts that I'm going to send to you, to your earbuds, wherever you are going to have some very practical, very inspiring stories being shared, and how you can maybe take that information and apply it to your life and handle change a little easier. So let's start with a really quick story about my life and how change has been impacted in my life, and how I use that to adapt to the changes in chatbots. Because I got to a point last year, late 2020, right after the elections and all of that. I got to a point where I was just this close to absolutely walking away from Messenger and ManyChat and ChatFuel, and just going and, I don't know, doing something else. To be honest with you, I was absolutely very, very close to doing that, because I was so beyond disgusted and disheartened by the changes and what havoc those changes had wrecked in my life and all of my clients' lives, that I just was like ready to go. I'm done. Luckily, I didn't. I'm still here. I'm still just as excited as I ever was in conversational marketing. And I'll tell you, one of the things that brought me back from that abyss was the fact that I had an event happen in my life 19 years ago now that basically taught me that really I don't have control. I really don't have control over anything. So why am I worrying about this stuff, this whatever it is that's happening around me? Why am I worrying about it? I can only control how I react to it. And that, my friends, is the key to dealing with change. Your reaction, handling your reaction, and how quickly you can find a solution or a workaround or whatever you want to call it. How quickly can you adapt? Okay, so what the event that happened in my life, you may have heard pieces of it, or you may have heard me tell this story before. But when I was pregnant with my second son, with Riley, I was 8 months pregnant, and I was walking out my neighbor's front door after swimming in their pool with my older son, Evan, who was at the time 3, and my neighbor's 2 children that were both under the age of 5. I think 5 and 4 were their ages. And we were walking out the front door, and 8 months pregnant, these 3 kids were rushing out the door around me. And I went to step from the landing of the inside of the house to the first step in their steps coming up to their front door, and the step was deeper than I expected. Actually, it was more than 9 inches between the riser of the door and that step, where a typical stair riser is 7 or less. So I'm stepping, and there's an extra 2 inches before I reach the end of that step. And so I stepped wrong. I tried to catch myself. I stepped wrong again. I heard a pop, and I proceeded to roll down the remaining 2 steps, hopefully trying to not take any of the children with me, because I had a huge baby hotel in front of me at 8 months pregnant. And I landed after rolling like a very lopsided weeble wobble. I landed with 2 broken legs. I landed with a broken bone in my foot, my right foot, and a broken bone in my left ankle. And very quickly realized this, not just because of some of the pain, which wasn't that terrible, but because of the very immediate swelling in different parts of in my foot and in my ankle. And definitely very clear that I could not put any weight on either of my legs. So that moment pretty much changed my life. Absolutely changed my life. And every time I tell this story, my son Riley basically pops in and says, "Sorry, Mom. Yeah, sorry I did that to you." Of course, he didn't do anything to me, but it's a family joke. That day basically set my life for the next about 4 months, 4 months or so. And that day was November 5th of 2001. My birthday was 2 days earlier, September 5th, if I didn't say that correctly, September 5th of 2001. And my birthday was 2 days earlier, September 3rd. And I got to 23 days later, go through labor and delivery with casts up to the knee on both legs. And our amazing Riley came into the world, and I've been just as blessed ever since as the day that Evan came into the world. But that being the person I am, and I like to think I'm in control. Before this time, I was a very controlling person. I can say that with no reservations. I was very controlling. I wanted to have everything just so. Everything had to be the way it needed to be. And if it wasn't that way, things were very difficult for me and probably my wonderful husband. But from that moment on, I was taught the lesson that, hey, MK, you are absolutely not in control of almost anything in life. Anything. I can control what I eat because I'm very fortunate to live in an amazing country called the United States, where I have immense freedoms and the ability to provide for myself. So I can decide what I want to eat. I can decide when I want to go to bed. I can decide when I want to get up. I can decide if I want to read a book. I can decide if I want to watch television. I can decide to go for a walk or play with the dog or brush the dog or do the dishes. All these things I can control and I can decide on. But most everything else that happens, I do not control whether the sun comes up. I do not control the weather. I do not control if there's a car accident, right? And I do not control if Facebook is down or my bot is restricted or my business page in Facebook is restricted, or my client is happy or sad, or my client's solution or my client's product sells or doesn't. I mean, I can do everything in my power to impact that event, but I do not control it at all. I can only do everything in my power to impact it. So, with that situation where I'm sitting on the ground trying to cradle my two broken bones around this huge baby hotel, I had to start a journey to the realization that um, my reaction to change is really what I have control over. And I didn't react initially very well. I just didn't. I was very depressed. I had never been depressed in my entire life. And until that moment when I could do almost nothing for myself. Nothing. I had two broken legs. How am I going to walk? How am I going to get anywhere? Um, I mean, I live in a small house and I have a hallway. How am I going to navigate my house in a wheelchair? It is not designed for that. And then what about my 3-year-old? How am I going to make dinner for him? How am I going to cook? How am I going to clean? How am I going to wash myself? I can't take a shower. I can't take a bath. And at the time I had very long hair halfway down my back. How am I going to wash my hair? All those things that I just took for granted that I could do, I could no longer do. And I was quite depressed for probably about a week. My husband was home taking care of myself and Evan. He was cooking, he was cleaning, he was doing the grocery shopping, he was paying the bills, he was trying to play with our son, he was taking care of the yard, he was doing everything. And I'm sitting on the couch feeling very, very sorry for myself. Rightly so, I feel, but still feeling very sorry for myself. And it wasn't until one very memorable day when Evan is playing on the carpet, and I'm again sitting on the couch watching some mindless show on television when I still had cable and watched television. He was playing on the floor in front of me and basically looked up and said, "Mom, can you come play with me?" And I snapped at him. I said, "What? How can I play with you? Do you see these legs? How can I play with you?" And the look on his face is what finally snapped me out of this depression and finally made me realize, come on, woman, you are not permanently disabled. You are not dead. You are not living in a third world country. You are not a woman in Afghanistan. You are so blessed to have the life you have and this incredible, beautiful boy wanting you to play with him and help guide him through life still. This is temporary. This thing you're going through is temporary. So this amazing young little boy is asking you to play, and you are responsible for guiding him through life. And this is the example you're giving him, that when something like this happens, that is temporary, that yes, impacts your life, you are going to take it as if the world is over and you are going to wallow in it. When I looked down and went, okay, no, this is not right. This is not who I am. This is not who I want to be. I reacted by going down on my hands and knees, rolling over this huge baby hotel and sitting on the floor to play cars with my son like I always used to. And then about 5 minutes later, I had to figure out how the hell I was going to get off the floor to be able to go to the bathroom very quickly, because when you're 8 months pregnant, you can't wait very long before you do that. So yeah, until all of a sudden I felt the urge to go to the bathroom, then I was fine. But once that happened, there was another thing I had to deal with and figure out how I was going to handle. But here's the clue. Here's the clue that I learned for myself and that I hope helps you handle changes, not just in chatbots, but in life. And it is truly right now, this moment is all you have. And how you deal with this moment is really what's going to shape how you live your life. So in that moment, I could make a decision and I could figure out how I was going to handle a particular situation. In chatbots, we had the +1 go away. We had the 24-hour rule come in. We now have these tags, these content tags, and all of us were using them just for what we thought was actually the purpose, and what we were told was actually the rule. And now we've heard different things and changed. And what about the OTNs, one-time notifications? Yay, now we've got the one-time notifications, and now everybody's using OTNs to sell, which now we know we're not allowed to do. All those things. This moment is all you have. So how are you handling the changes that are happening all around you? How are you handling it right now? And each moment is just a baby step toward going to that solution. No one has everything figured out immediately when it happens. We all are iterating and testing and wondering and tweaking to adapt to whatever changes happen. There are lots of, quote, gurus out there that have given us all kinds of different amazing pieces of advice, some not so amazing pieces of advice, but it's all based on either the information they can gather from the powers that be, right? The books in the face, and the ManyChats and the chat fuels and the mobile monkeys and all those guys. They can only make these decisions. We all can only make these decisions based on the information we gather from the powers that be and our own testing from our experience as to how we think we can work. Okay? That's it. That's it. So each moment, there is no one out there that is smarter than you or better than you or more resilient than you if you choose to be resilient. So that's my number one hint to you. Test, tweak, wonder, and investigate, and be resilient. Just be resilient. Don't ever give up. That's why I started with the fact that I came very close to giving up. Be resilient. And the reason I didn't give up is because I have an amazing community of conversational marketers and students who, when I thought of possibly giving up, I looked and went, oh my gosh, how can I give up and let them all down? Not that I am the end all be all of the universe and they come to me for everything. That's not what I mean by let them down. What I mean by let them down is, how could I leave this community that we are all guiding each other in and go do something totally different? How could I do that? I have invested incredible love and care in this and am not ready to stop investing. I just was not ready. And all of my incredible students helped me make that decision because they help me just as much as I help them. Guaranteed. And hopefully, this episode of My Chatbot Life has helped you think about taking this moment, maximizing this moment, and being resilient through the change for the next moment. All right? Changes in chatbots is here, my friends. Welcome to the conversation. You're going to hear from incredible people. John Preston is one of them. Rutger Thol is another. And our wonderful leader in ManyChat, Mikhail Yang, he is also going to be in this series. You'll be hearing from lots of other incredible names. So hang on, buckle up, and let the rocket boosters fire, because changes in chatbots is coming your way. Thanks for listening, guys. See you next time.
Thanks for listening to the My Chatbot Life podcast. To watch this video chat, visit mychatbotlife.com and get all the rocket boosters you need for your own chatbot success.